So it goes like this. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the top 50. These next 49 are going to be what legends are made of. These next 49 are going to be instrumental to who you are if you were a 2000s kid. They're going to be instrumental to who you are if you're not a 2000s kid because you were heavily influenced. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your 49th entry on the top 100 greatest cartoons for 2000s kids.
Like father, like son, you're always number one. Yes. There's buddies, there's pals.
Yeah.
You always seem to work things out. Can't you see you're two of a kind? Looking for every time. Report forever. Now we're calling everyone. Come on and drop the fun. Report to the Goof Troop.
Goof Troop comes in as number 49 on your list. I know what you're thinking. That makes sense. Somebody out there was waiting for their favorite cartoon, and that favorite cartoon was Goof Troop. Well, I'm happy to tell you that it is on the list. 65 episodes aired in first-run syndication from 92 to 93. You should know the premise, because if you haven't seen the show, you are missing out. Goof Troop is similar to early 1950s Goofy cartoon shorts that depicted Goofy as the father of a mischievous red-haired son. Red-haired? Yeah, okay. I thought my memory was a little bit messed up, but maybe there's a 1950s Max with some red hair. I don't know why he would have red hair in the 1950s, because I think everything would be black and white. What the heck are they talking about red-haired son? It was the creation of Michael Peraza Jr. and pitched to Disney management as a last-minute idea to fit the title. Goofy, a single father, the only single father that I know from Disney Channel, moves back to his hometown of Spoonerville with his son Max, and they end up moving in next door to his high school friend Pete, a used car salesman and owner of Honest Pete's Used Car. Pete's wife Peg, a real estate agent, and their two children, their son Pete, PJ, also known as Pete Jr., and daughter Pistol. Max and PJ quickly become best friends and do practically everything together. Much of the show's humor comes from Max's normal personality, which contrasts with his father's. This show, I can't say enough good things about this show. This is one of the greatest shows to be on the list. This is why it has to be the first one to welcome us to the 50s list. If you haven't seen the show, watch the show, and then do yourself a favor. After you finish the show, you go watch the movies. A Goofy movie, and then what's the one with Powerline? No. Powerline is a Goofy movie, and then you got the one where they go to college, which is also another great addition to just animated movies and films in general. We need another introduction to the Goof family here pretty soon, and that is an extremely goofy movie. Time to move on to number 48 on the list.
We're all knocking at the house of mouse. So come on in, we're gonna shake the house. We're all rocking at the house of mouse. We're having a ball and rocking the hall. So come on home to the house of mouse. All this fun makes you jump and shout. Hey, little girl, I wanna dance with you. We'll find so many things to do. So come on in, we're gonna shake the house. We're having a ball at the house of mouse.
House of Mouse. House of Mouse is kind of a cheat code because it takes all of the greats of the Disney channels, the Mickeys and the Peter Pans and the Goofies and the Donalds and the Aladdins and the Hercules, whatever you can think of underneath the roof that is the House of Mouse. House of Disney's House of Mouse, if you want the full title, is an American crossover animated television series produced by Walt Disney Television Animation, and it originally aired on ABC and Toon Disney from January 13th, 2001 to October 24th, 2003, with 52 episodes. The show focuses on Mickey Mouse and his friends running a cartoon theater dinner club in the fictional town setting of Toontown, catering to many characters from Disney cartoons and animated movies while showcasing a variety of their cartoon shorts. That's it. That premise, if you ain't sold on the premise of that alone, every Disney movie that basically came out between Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Dinosaur is included in some form in this damn show. And I remember there being specials where sometimes the evil ones would take over, the evil toons would take over, and it'd be just a collection of shorts of evil focus centric, but then also they would be the ones that would be hosting the gig, where it's usually be Mickey up there, one of his friends up there hosting the gig. It's a great show, man. This definitely deserves coming in at number 48. I think you understand now when I say that there is nothing on the bottom 50 that could have decrowned what we have so far at 49, 48, but that trend is going to keep on going. We're going to move on with 47.
Hercules, whose dad needs a great theater. Hercules, is it is his swing. Our favorite flavor, Coke Zero. Give it a plenty. He's our hero. He's the most likely to succeed. Sing it a hero. Herc is a hero. Give me a hero. Wait and see.
Now, look, I try to tell you, when we did the Aladdin, I think that was in the 50s, there was only one other show that could top Aladdin when it came to being a great adaptation, and that goes to our number 47 entry, which is Hercules, the animated TV show, which Disney Hercules, the animated series simply known as Hercules, is an American animated television series that is based on the 1997 film of the same name and the Greek myth. The series follows Hercules as a teenager in training to be a hero prior to the events of the film. It premiered on August 31st, 1998, and on ABC through its Disney's One Saturday morning block on September 12th, 1998. The series notably contradicts several events and plot points in the original film. A notable example is Hades knowing Hercules is alive when he's still a teenager, when in the film he found out when Hercules reached adulthood. Who cares about the contradictions? None of us even paid attention to the contradictions because this show is that damn great. If you wanted to know what it was to be Hercules before he had the muscles and the girl, watch this show. This definitely deserves to be number 47. And again, I challenge you to tell me what shows in the bottom 50 that you would replace this one with. I'll wait. No, I won't. We got to move on to number 46.
Mom and Dad, I'm doing fine. You guys are on my mind. You asked me what I wanted to be, and now I think the answer is plain to see. Move nothing in my way, I'll get there one day. 'Cause I wanna be famous. I wanna be famous.
Now, look, it can't all be Disney. It can't all be Disney great. Sometimes we got to include a show that came actually a little bit later in the 2000s, like the mid-2000s. I want to say off the top of my head, like the 2007 era, but was still that type of show. And I say that type of show by saying that it established something new. It established a premise in cartoons that we had not seen before. That is why coming in at number 46, we have Total Drama Island, sometimes shortened to TDI, is the first season of the Total Drama Island series, a Canadian animated television series created by Tom McGillis and Jennifer Perch. It premiered in Canada on Teletoon on July 8th, 2007. Told you, it's got that 2007 vibe to it. Also, the first season to me is what I'm actually putting on this list. The rest of the seasons are okay, but there's something about that original cast, that original voice cast, those original characters that was so iconic that it was hard to beat it with any next seasons. And I think they got quite a few seasons. Total Drama Island is set in the fictional titular reality show, which follows the competition of 22 unsuspecting and unwitting campers at Camp Wawanakawa. I think I said that, Wawanakawa. No, I don't know. The most rundown insect-infested, disgusting island in an unspecified area in Muskoka, Ontario. The campers participate in competitions and challenges that gets more insane and dangerous each week to avoid being voted off the island by their fellow campers and teammates. Look, if you like Survivor, mixed with a little Love Island, mixed with a little bit of, give me one more, Kim Kardashian, the Kardashians, this is what you're going to get with this show right here. It is all of the fun of the reality shows without all the BS of having actual humans on TV. They take it pretty damn far with the show, and I highly recommend it. It is a lot of fun to watch. It is now time to move to the halfway point of our 40s list. Again, I challenge you, tell me which one on this list that you would move down. What would you kick out of the top 50? None? I agree. This is why they fall where they fall. So number 45, I'm going to throw at you right now.
He's cool, he's hot like a frozen sun. He's young and fast, he's the chosen one. People are not bragging. He's the American dragon. Skills are getting faster with Grandpa the Master. It's Destiny, what's up, G? It's showtime, baby, for the legacy. American dragon.
From the J to the A to the K to the E. I'm the Mac Daddy Dragon of the NYC. You heard? Jake, get back to work! Aw, man.
They managed to knock it out of the park with this one because American Dragon, Jake Long is your number 45 entry, and it is that good a freaking show. American Dragon, Jake Long, similar premise to Juniper Lee. You have a kid who's in high school, maybe middle school. He's got a duty to keep Earthrealm and the mystical world separate, to challenge those who would seek to to challenge those who would seek to overtake and rule our planet. The only difference between Juniper Lee and our hero Jake is that Jake has an additional ability. Besides being an individual who can fight, he is an individual that can turn into a dragon, hence the title. Let's dive deeper into what was a really iconic, fun show. American Dragon Jake Long, or simply American Dragon, is an American animated television series. It was produced by Walt Disney Television Animation, created by Jeff Good and co-developed by Eddie Guzolayan and Matt Negretti. It premiered on Disney Channel on January 21st, 2005 and ended on September 1st, 2007. Again, firmly in the 2000s realm, but also in the kind of transition phase as we get closer to the 2010s. This is a GOAT show. The premise: set in the New York City borough of Manhattan, this animated series tells the story of a Chinese-American boy named Jake Long, voiced by Dante Basco, who must balance ordinary adolescence with the ability to change into a dragon. When he eventually unlocks his full potential and turns into the American Dragon, he has to overcome obstacles to protect the magical creatures living in the city. But as his ordinary self, Jake has issues with his deep crush on his schoolmate Rose, who, unbeknownst to Jake, has a dark magical secret of her own. She's a natural dragon slayer known as the Hunts Girl, a member of the Hunts clan. Also, this is one of the weird shows that, for some reason, had a really great animation style the first season. It had everything going for it in the right direction, and then all of a sudden just decided, we can make this better. Let's completely change up the animation style. And for the seasons 2 and 3, I think it got 2 more seasons, it was this weird looking art style that was just ugly and hideous, and to me ruined the show, and I stopped watching after that. But that first season, goated. That relationship between the two, love it. Number 45 goes to American Dragon Jake Long. Now let's move on to 44. If you want to talk about one of the GOAT written cartoon shows, I mean, truly, this is more than just a cartoon. This is a show that adults, full-ass, grown-ass adults sat down and watched and enjoyed in all seriousness. Not with, oh, I got to look at this as through the lens of being a child again. No. Enjoyed the writing and wanted to see the stories of these characters because it was so good. Justice League is an American animated television series which ran from November 17, 2001 to May 29, 2004 on Cartoon Network, a GOAT staple of Cartoon Network. That's another trend you're going to start to notice as we enter these top. Cartoon Network going to start swinging real hard with these counters. The show is produced by Warner Brothers Animation. It is based on the Justice League of America and associated comic book characters published by DC Comics. Series ended after 2 seasons but was followed by Justice League Unlimited, a successor series which aired for 3 seasons. And then there were also other heroes that would make appearances in this show as well, which is why it was so great. And then you even had crossovers with one of the greatest shows that I still haven't named, but it's definitely on this list somewhere. You had crossovers with that show. And so this is a GO. Spell out the rest for yourself. You know what it is. Coming in number 44, Justice League. And I dare you to open your mouth to say what you would replace Justice League with. There's just no option. It's that great a show. Moving on to number 43.
Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. Digivolve into Ultimate. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions.
Well, look, there's just no way that you can have a 2000s cartoons list without including one of the GOAT animes. Now, it's funny, I'm putting this on this list. It's not my favorite version. My favorite version in particular is when they are able to transform into monsters themselves. I prefer when the individuals who are going on the quest to beat the bad guy are doing the actual fighting and not doing the commanding. But this is undeniably one of the greatest 2000 cartoons to ever come out, so I have to put this one on. Digimon Adventures, also known as Digimon Digital Monsters in English-speaking territories, is a 1999 Japanese anime television series produced by Toei Animation in cooperation with Wiz, Bandai, and Fuji Television. It is the first anime series in the Digimon media franchise based on the digital monster Virtual Pet released in 1997. On August 1st, 1999, 7 children are transported into the digital world by Digivices that appear before them at summer camp, where they befriend several Digimon, digital monsters. The kids' Digivices allow their partner Digimon to digivolve into stronger forms and combat enemies. As the kids explore to find a way home, they learn that they are Digi-destined, children chosen to save the digital world. A lot of Digi going on. This is one of those shows that you had to watch. There was no way that you were getting home and skipping this if this was on the television. Great addition. Time to move on to number 42.
It's time to do.
Well, again, speaking of great animes that made a spectacular, huge translation over into the American audiences, we have to give the number 42 spot to one of the GOATs, Yu-Gi-Oh! This is probably the only show that you will get me going. Card games are fun or cool. Yu-Gi-Oh! Had a great intro theme song. It had great character development. It was to me, it seemed like a very long story arc. Let's dive deeper. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Kazuki Takahashi. It was serialized in Shueisha's Shonen Manga magazine, Weekly Shonen Jump, between September 96 and March 2004, with its chapters collected in 38 volumes. Tankobon volumes to be specific. The series follows Yugi Mutua, a teenager who solves the ancient Egyptian Millennium Puzzle. I know I mispronounced it. I am sorry. I'm doing the best that I can. Yugi becomes host to a gambling alter ego or spirit who solves his conflicts with various games. As the manga progresses, the focus largely shifts to the card game Duel Monsters, originally known as Magic and Wizards, where opposing players duel one another in mock battles of fantasy monsters. Yugi and his friends gradually learn the spirit's existence, are referring to him as the other Yugi. And you know, the other thing about this is I thought he was like a great warrior king or emperor or something like that. I didn't know that he was just a gambler. Is that right? Is that correct? Is he just a gambler? Because he seemed a lot more royal-like whenever he took over from my kid brain. Anyway, still a great show. I definitely recommend you watch it. And then it had a host of films. It had a host of spinoffs. I personally don't like, what was it, GTX or GX that it spent off into. The original OG Yu-Gi-Oh! That premiered in the early 2000s. That's the one you need to watch. So definitely recommend you watch that. It's time to move on to number 41. When we talk about one of my favorite shows of all time, if I was doing an actual personal list, this would be way, way higher, maybe even in the top 10 of my favorite shows from the Cartoon Network era. Definitely, if you're doing a Cartoon Network list, you would put this on top 10 greatest shows to ever air on that network. We're talking about number 41 being The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. If you don't know, I'm telling you right now, if you don't know, you are missing out. This is taking the fascination with the Grim Reaper, the harbinger of death himself, giving him a Jamaican accent, and then forcing him to be slaves to 2 little children, and it is the hilarity that ensues. Again, this is another show that was like firmly punching its childhood weight with great storytelling, funny jokes, but also blending that line of like some of this humor is like, woo! It's an American animated television series created by Maxwell Adams for Cartoon Network. It follows Billy, a dim-witted, happy-go-lucky boy, and Mandy, a cynical, remorseless girl who, after winning a limbo game to save Billy's pet hamster, gain Grim, the mighty Grim Reaper, as their best friend forever. When you think of the dumbest characters to ever air on TV as a cartoon, Billy's top 3. He is dumb to dumb, no redeeming qualities dumb. And he's not like Peter Griffin dumb, who was like, kind of like, who was dumb but had moments of sanity or clarity or like ability to think logic, and then as the seasons progressed went full on mental retardation, like went full on like severe handicap. Billy was just dumb from the very beginning. Dumb. And then you had Mandy, who was the embodiment of evil. She's got episodes where literally she basically takes over the world, and they just kind of end the episode like that and go, well, that's our story. Mandy wins. I love this show. If you can't tell, this is one of my favorite shows, y'all. Again, there's no way that you could say anything in the bottom 50 would take this off the list. We are now at the end again, ladies and gentlemen. It seems to fly by every time, but it's time for us to go to number 40 on the list. And I think most of you will agree this makes sense.
We are riders on a mission, action, kids in play position, rocket power. We are riders on a mission, action, kids in fun condition, prepare to count down, rocket power.
Now, is there a world where I would switch Rocket Power and Grim and Mandy? Possibly, but I'm okay with where this falls just because of the status of the show and what it introduces to young audiences at this time. Because at number 40, we have Rocket Power. Rocket Power is about a group of kids who explore every sport there is known to man. These kids just love to be outside, whether it's surfing, rollerblading, skating. Honestly, this is one of the shows that got me to skateboarding early on in my life, back when it wasn't that cool to be black and skateboarding. I enjoy the nature, the way that they made everything feel very zen, the way that they made these individuals connect with the things that they enjoyed on the outside. This is a great show if you're interested in getting your kids into sports. Show centers on the daily lives of Otto, Reggie, Twister, and Sam, four pre-adolescent children with an interest in extreme sports such as skateboarding and surfing, while also getting into various situations. Diving deeper into what is probably the only sports-focused show we have on here, and then thus the greatest sports cartoon, especially for that era that we had on television. Rocket Power revolves around the day-to-day zany hijinks of a gang of four young and loyal friends: the adventurous and vain sports enthusiast and perfectionist Oswald, Otto Rocket, his tomboyish and kind-hearted older sister, Regina Reggie Rocket, Otto's dim-witted but loyal best friend and videographer, Maurice Twister Rodriguez, and the brainy techno whiz kid and relative newcomer, Sam Squid Dullard. If you love character-driven shows, if you love the feeling of childhood and four friends coming together to overcome obstacles, you gotta watch Rocket Power. It makes sense for this to be number 40. It got 4 seasons, 71 episodes. There's plenty of Rocket Power for you to enjoy, and I recommend you do it at some point if you haven't. That is it, y'all. That is the beginning of your top 50s list right here. So one last time, let's go over what you put for your 40s list. We have at 49, Goof Troop; 48, House of Mouse; 47, Hercules; 46, Total Drama Island; 45, Jake Long the American Dragon; 44, The Justice League; 43, Digimon; 42, Yu-Gi-Oh! 41, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy; 40, Rocket Power. This is heating up. We have, 39 more cartoons to go to. 39 more goats to uncover. Has your favorite cartoon been named yet? And if not, are you worried that it did not make the list for 100 greatest cartoons for 2000s kids? I don't know. The only way for us to find out is for you to come back next week when we take on the 30s.